remain a prisoner, you remain a prisoner by choice. But because he's alive, I don't have to be depressed. Because matter of fact, I refuse to be hopeless. I refuse to remain angry. I refuse to remain helpless. I am empowered by the fact that he is alive and he lives in me. Somebody sees all things through Christ who strengthens me. And because I know that death did not hold him, I know that he got up, I know that he's alive, and I also know that he hears my prayer. I also know that I can speak those things that be not as though they were. I know that I can overcome anything and everything. I know that I'm more than a conqueror because he got up. He's not dead. I'm preaching already. And I know that because he got up, that when I call, he will answer. When I need him, he will show up. When he shows up, he will do something about my situation. Anybody here with me? Amen. I'm halfway through my message now. Where am I coming from? Go to John 21. John 21. It was our Sunday school lesson this morning, and I told him I'm going to try not to preach when I'm preaching at 11. But our Sunday school lesson was also my message today, John 21. It is his post-resurrection. This is after the crucifixion. John 21, I'm reading from the New King James Version, the first 14 verses, John 21, 1 through 14. The house was full last week, and so, of course, Resurrection Day, I want you to do me a favor and save the seats of everybody who wasn't here because they'll be here next year that time. So just to hold on to their seats. Amen. Thank God for all of you. Man, put reserve next to it because every seat, almost every seat was filled last week. So if you're not sitting in those seats next to you today, just put reserve on there because they'll be back next year, same time. Amen. John 21, 1 through 14. John 21, 1 through 14. From the New King James Version, it reads, After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples. Jesus showed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, and in this way he showed himself. Simon Peter, turn me down a little bit, Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, the two others of his disciples were together. So there was a group of disciples all together at one time in one place. Verse 3. Simon Peter said to them, I am going fishing. And they said to him, we are going with you also. They went out and immediately got into the boat, and that night they caught nothing. But when the morning had come now, Jesus stood on the shore. Yet his disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Then Jesus said to them, children, have you any food? They answered him, no. And he said to them, cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some. So they cast, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the multitude of fish. Therefore, that disciple whom Jesus loved, who was actually John, said to Peter, it is the Lord. Now when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he had removed it. Some versions say he was naked, and plunged into the sea, jumped into the sea. But the other disciples came in the little boat, for they were not far from the land, 100 cubits, dragging fish. Then as soon as they had come to land, they saw a fire of coal there, and fish laid on it and bread. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish which you have caught. And net to the land full of large fish, 153. And although they were so many, the net was not broken. And Jesus said to them, come and eat breakfast, or come and dine. Yet none of the disciples dared ask him, who are you? Because they all knew that it was the Lord. Jesus then came and took the bread and gave it to them, and likewise the fish. And this is now the third time Jesus showed himself to his disciples after he was raised. This was now the third time that Jesus showed himself to his disciples after he was raised from the dead. I want you to look at your neighbor and tell him with all the conviction you have, he will show up.
He will show up.
That sounded kind of weak to me. I don't know if you believe it or not, but say it again if you will. He will.
He will.
Show up.
Show up.
He will.
He will.
Show. You got to say it like you know it already. You got to declare it like he's already done it. You got to say, he will.
He will.
Show up. He will show up. This was a great Sunday school lesson this morning.
Yes.
It is full of revelatory truth. It is full of encouragement. It is full of reality.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, I want to talk to those of us who struggle with reality. I'll talk to those, I think I'm in the right house. I want to talk to those of us who struggle with reality, because all of us in this room have some reality.
Oh, yes.
All of us have some realities. These are not stories. These are not things we make up. These are our true and real experiences. And so all of us have some realities. Let me see the hands of those who have reality. Realities. And the truth of the matter is we have some realities that are out of our control.
Oh, yes.
We have some realities that, it's not really because of anything we've done. It's just life. We have some realities that we have to deal with because of what somebody else is doing or has done. We have realities that we have to deal with because of some things, some decisions we've made. We have some realities that we have to deal with just because of where we live or who we're associated with, or sometimes just because we're alive. There are some realities that you deal with that life just brings to you just because you're alive. And then there are some realities that you have to deal with that are either God allowed, God ordered, or God ordained. We're very familiar with that. God allows some things to hit your life, even though you would not have to deal with them. If you didn't want, if it was up to you, you wouldn't deal with these realities. But all of us have some realities. Some are good realities. I got a job. That's real. I like that reality. But most of the realities that get us stuck are realities that we don't like. And so most of us struggle with reality. We struggle with the realities of the things that are going on in our lives every day, especially the things that are out of our control. When we struggle with the realities that are out of our control, they bring us to a place that is unfamiliar, uncertain, and uncomfortable. Unfamiliar, uncertain, and uncomfortable. And you know us, we love comfort. We want to know, and we want to be in control. And we all have to deal with those things, no matter how much you've been saved, how long you've been saved, how gifted, how anointed you are, that with fire and of the Holy Ghost. You're going to deal with some realities that you don't like and don't have any control over. And not only do you have to deal with them, but you're going to struggle with them. No doubt that somebody in this house is struggling with some realities that you have to deal with right now. Although you're in church, your mind is somewhere else. Although you're here, there's some stuff going on at the house. There's some stuff going on waiting for you when you get to work tomorrow. There's some realities that are totally out of your control. There's some people that's connected to you that's dealing with something that's impacting you.
Preach.
There's, our children are not where they're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. But we can't control that. We're trying the best we can to make ends meet, but we don't even control how much money is given to us. Oh, that hit everybody. I heard everybody going on that one. What we do have control of is how we manage what we get. And that's a reality we struggle with too, because most of us declare and believe that we don't have enough to do what we need to do with what we need to do and how we need to do it. And I said that too fast, but I'm not going to say it again, because you already know what I'm talking about. Somebody shout realities. There's some realities going on in my life. Sometimes it even cause me not to want to come to the house of God, not to want to pray, not to want to worship. There are some realities that leave me confused. Anybody ever been confused? There are some realities that leave me feeling hopeless. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. I don't know how God's going to work this out. I don't know how. And there are some realities that make us feel not only hopeless, but helpless. Like, I know this is out of my level of ability. I know this is beyond me. I know this is a God thing. I know. But all of us have to deal with, somebody say, realities. And realities that we don't like, that we don't have any control over. And we struggle with that because what works against our reality is our faith. Our faith and reality are always in opposition of each other. Your reality will cause you to want to lean to your logic What you know, what you understand, what you can explain. Faith says you may not be able to explain anything, and none of it may not make sense, but you got to trust and believe. I'm talking to anybody in this house. And so daily I'm waking up dealing with reality of what I got to deal with that's called life, but also trying to hold on to my hope, which is my faith. I gotta learn, I'm trying to learn how to trust God when my reality hits me in the face. And watch, what the thing that's connected to my reality is my sensual perception. It is what I can see, hear, and feel. The reality of being unemployed, you see, hear, and you feel that one. The reality of what are people saying, what am I seeing, and what am I feeling, versus my reality. My reality, and watch this, the enemy uses the realities of your life that you deal with every day to lock you into a place of bondage and struggle. And now we say things like the struggle is real. And it is real, but it's an indication and a declaration that we're speaking of to let somebody know that we are in a place in life where we are uncomfortable and uncertain. The struggle is real. I'm fighting something. I'm struggling with something that I don't like. Something that's out of my control. On the flip side of that, God is saying, I know you got realities, and I'm not going to change the reality until I change you.
Amen.
So now he's trying to build faith in me. He's trying to build faith in me. He's trying to build trust in me. He's trying to build discipline in me, that no matter what my reality is, I remain like him, consistent and unchanging.
All right now.
I'm going to say that one again. The lesson to be learned while you're struggling with your reality is, will you be the same as when God fixes everything for you, that you are when he does not fix everything right away. He wants me to be continue to have faith in him and trust in him and to hold on to whatever he promised. And he promised that if you kill this body in 3 days, I will raise it up again. But the disciples still have the reality that they have to struggle with. What is their current reality? Their current reality is they have gone from one season to another. Now understand that before the crucifixion, Jesus is with them every day, all day. He is with them every day. They go to bed with him. They wake up with him. He provides for them. He tells them what's on the agenda for the day. We're going to Galilee. We're going to Jerusalem. We're going to this place. We're going to heal the sick. We're going to do this. He is dictating their every move to them every day. He's with them every day. But now they are in a season where he's not with them all the time. He's showing up every now and then. Because this is after the resurrection, and he's not walking with them every day, but he's now been seen at least twice by them, but he's been seen by thousands, and they are trying to adjust to where they are spiritually while they're still dealing with the reality. The reality of the day for them is that they are afraid and they are uncertain. They don't know what's going to happen next. And now, even in addition to that, the government is after them because they want everybody who says they follow Jesus, they want to lock them up in jail and persecute them. So they have a reality to deal with, that so much so that they've gone into hiding. They're afraid. Anybody here ever been afraid?
Oh, yes.
Okay. If you haven't been afraid, have you ever been nervous?
Yes.
Ever been uncertain about something? You ever lost a job and figured out what you're going to do next?
Yes.
So all of us can relate to how the disciples are feeling right now. They're feeling hopeless. They don't know what's going to happen, what their next move is supposed to be. Why? Because Jesus has always dictated that to them, and now he's gone and showing up every now and then. It's like being married to somebody for 40 years and all of a sudden they die. And you have gotten used to this certain routine, I get up, we drink coffee together, we wake up together, we go through this, we do this, and everybody's together. And there's always, this companionship, but now he's gone. What do I do? Has anybody lost anybody close to you that you had that kind of interaction with? Maybe it was a parent, maybe it was a brother, maybe it was a friend. Or have you ever just been in a relationship where you had a routine and all of a sudden when the relationship is over, the routine is lost and you find yourself lost in the reality that you're single now, or that you're by yourself now, or that whatever happened, the situation and circumstances have brought you to a certain reality that you have no control over. And it's an unfamiliar place. And there's some things that you got to process mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And your spiritual being, your spiritual person that you have now become, is in war against flesh that is connected to your reality.
Right.
My flesh is always connected to my reality. My flesh, how I feel, what I think, is always connected to what I'm going through. And so now my struggle is not to become what I'm going through. How many of us have become what we're going through? As my wife said this morning in Sunday school, to where people know you're going through something because you don't smile the same way when you're at work.
Right.
It's hard to be kind to other people when you're having problems. It's hard to, you go in when things are good, you go in even on Monday that you hate. Everybody hates Monday. And you still say, oh yeah, I had a good weekend. But when you're going through a reality, you go in there and you don't speak to people. You don't want to be bothered. You close your door. You get in your cubicle, turn your back, whatever it is. That demonstrates that I'm dealing with the reality. Oh, but I thought you were a Christian. Because what the world expects of Christians is there's a demonstration of the power of God in your life every day.
Right.
They should see the power of God in your life every day. And when somebody in the Sunday school asks, well, what does that look like? Good question. It looks like this. It looks like that no matter what happens or what I'm going through or what reality I'm experiencing, there is a demonstration of the joy of God, of the happiness of God, of the peace of God. I can still smile at you. I can still be bothered with you. I can still share stories. We can still have lunch together. Why? Because there's a power working in my life that disconnects me from my reality and connects me to my hope. Because my hope is alive, my reality doesn't faze me. And you will never know that I'm struggling. You will never know that I'm going through something. You will never see me cry. Why? Because my reality does not dominate me, but my faith empowers me. And that's where we're trying to get the disciples, even though they're dealing with this reality of the absence of Jesus. What do you do when he seems to be absent? What do you do when you're being dominated by the devil throwing all your reality in your face, but Jesus seems to be absent? What do y'all do? I'll tell you what most church folks do. They stop going to church. Because I'm dealing with a reality that I have no control over. And I can't fix it. I'm trying to fix it, and it won't fix. What do you do? Come on, y'all, be real with me. Keep it up, 100. What do you do? I check out. Because I don't understand this. I check out. I disconnect because I'm not used to this. I've heard Jesus say, and I've heard the saints say stuff that sound good, and it really does feel good when I'm on top of the mountain.
Right.
But they didn't tell me that this is going to happen to me. Y'all ever seen them people on the news that when crime gets into their neighborhood, what do they say? I never thought it would happen to me. And they still say that on the news. And I wonder, well, what planet do you live on? Because it's happening everywhere.
Right.
Do you know saints think like that too? You know why they think like that? Because we say, we're blessed in the city. We're blessed. And that's all they want to hear. They don't want to hear, but you're going to be down in the valley, down in the valley. What you going to do when you're down in the valley? Because you ain't always going to be on top of the mountain. You got to deal with some reality. And we've got to, in church, stop making people think that life is always going to be full of flowers and good times and howdy, and never goodbye. You're going to lose some people. You're going to lose some stuff. You're going to get in some reality that you can't explain. You're going to feel bitter. You're going to feel angry. You're going to have questions for God. Is there anybody in here that has some realities to deal with? And God is going to seem absent.
Yes.
I wonder if there's anybody in here besides me
No.
that has ever felt a void like God wasn't listening and like he wasn't going to show up.
Right.
Well, that's where the disciples are. Listen to me. They're all here in one place. And I asked the Sunday school class this morning, I said, what do you think the environment was like? They're all here. And somebody said, oh, they're what was the word they used? They said they're calm. Just seems like they're calm. They're all together. And then somebody said, at peace. And then somebody said, they're excited because they're getting ready to go fishing. They're all together in one place, calm, peaceful. And I said, I don't agree with none of that. The atmosphere is not one of calm. It is one of uncertainty. It is one of fear. It is one of tension because they are in a new place without Jesus. This is a new experience. They didn't wake up and look over and he was there. They didn't wake up and he's telling them, hey, fellas, this is our assignment for the day. He's not there. What do you do when you wake up and you got a reality and it seems like God is not there? You panic. You change. You tense up. You question. And that's where they were. And Peter, who is always seems to be the ringleader, out of frustration, out of fear, and in a desperation for comfort, he says, and he decides, I'm going fishing. Now, note, fishing is what you used to do. Y'all missed it. Fishing is what you were doing when Jesus found you.
Right.
Fishing is what Jesus called you from and said, I'm going to let you be fishermen, but not fishers of fish. You're going to be fishers of men. But Peter says, I'm going backwards to what I used to do because God ain't answered my prayer. I don't know where he is. I'm dealing with these realities, and I'm going back to what I'm comfortable with. I'm going back to what I know. I'm going back to fishing. Now, there's nothing wrong with fishing per se, but there is something wrong with going back to what you used to do. Because God ain't operating on your timetable. Who told him to go fishing? How does he know that God didn't just want him to sit still and wait on the Lord? For they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, not when you go backwards to what you used to do. And some of us, there's a danger in going backward instead of forward. There's a danger in going back to what you used to do just because it's comfortable or just because it feels good. We got to grow up and stop doing what feels good and hang in there and grow up and learn how to be consistent when it doesn't feel good. Look at somebody and say, you got to grow up, grow up, grow up. Just wait on him. Just wait on him. He's going to show up. He's going to show up. I'm going back fishing. I'm going back to bingo on Sunday. I'll get y'all. Whatever. I'm going back to washing my car and walking my dog on Sunday. Forget all this other religious stuff. Why? Because I'm frustrated. And I'm afraid. And I'm not sure if he's going to show up. We've been sitting here in this little room, and I'm sick of y'all. Y'all getting on my nerve. I'm getting on y'all's nerve. Somebody got to break the ice with me. And Peter said, I'm going fishing. Because I know that. I'm comfortable with that. And guess what? The other fellow says, all the other guys said, you know what? We're going back with you. Not even John said, hey, don't y'all think this is a good time to pray?
Right.
This is a good time to remind ourselves what God said. What did Jesus tell us? Not even John. All of them said, let's go. That's a good idea. You better be careful following the crowd. I don't care if all of them are saved. Because sometimes all of y'all saved, but all of y'all still thinking the wrong thing. All you need is one to start gossiping. All you need is one to give up. All you need is one to make the wrong decision. All you need is one. And just because all the rest of the church is doing it, I ain't giving no more tithes. Well, I ain't either. Okay. I'm getting off that committee. Well, I am too. What did God say? What did he have you to do? Now, what I believe should have been happening is, if you all listen to me, I know, these guys are stuck in Friday's reality.
Right.
They're struggling with what they saw, felt, and heard on Friday about how Jesus was crucified. And even though they've already seen him twice, they're still struggling. I don't know how many times you've been to church. The question is, how much are you still struggling? And it will come out in your demonstration.
Right.
I declare to you that your commitment and dedication level is a direct connection to what you believe about God, especially in this struggle.
Yes.
It's what you demonstrate. So even though they were scared and fearful, what their demonstration should have been was, we've seen him twice. He's alive. There's hope. It's going to get better. Why? How do you know that? Because he ain't dead. He's risen, just like he said. We've seen him twice, and he's shown himself to 5,000. Is there anybody that when you get in the middle of your struggle, you still got to shout, and you still got to praise, because if he brought you through that, he will bring you through this? Is there anybody that can take what miracle happened yesterday and say, since he did that, I know, I believe, I choose to trust that somewhere in my near future that this season is going to shift and change, because he didn't bring me this far to leave me. I don't care what's facing you. I don't care what's chasing you. I don't care what's weighing you down. I don't care what's getting you all caught up, wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in fear and disbelief. I came to tell you today that if you just keep believing and stay still and believe to see the salvation of the Lord, if you don't move, if you keep trusting and keep believing and keep looking with expectation, I came to tell you that sooner or later, and more sooner than later, God is going to show up. And he's going to fix everything. I wish I had some people in here. He's going to fix everything that is deficient in your life. If you just stand your ground, if you just hold on and don't go back, if you just take one step after another and decide that no matter what the enemy throws at you, you got a reality, but you also have a revelation. Is there any in here that's got a revelation in spite of your reality that I know God will make a way? Phil.
Yes, he will.
The disciples go back fishing.
Yes.
And what I like about God is he shows up even when we don't deserve it. Look at somebody and say, he will show up. He will show up. He will show up. I'm glad that he's not like us. Because see, most of us, this is what we do. Well, they ain't expecting me anyway, so I'm going to go do something else. They ain't expecting me to come. They didn't invite me. I'm going to go do something else with my time. But God is not like that. I'm so glad that even though he wasn't present in their dilemma, and even though he allowed them to be in a room together, hopeless, he knew exactly what they needed. Even though they made a bad decision to go back to what they used to do, God didn't let it stop him. Jesus didn't let it stop him. Why? Because once God makes up his mind that he's going to be in your life, he will meet you even in the middle of your bad decision. Oh, God, that helps somebody right now. People will tell you, well, if you don't do what God wants you to do, you're going to miss God. I don't believe that. I just believe if I miss him on Tuesday, he'll catch me on Friday. I just choose to believe that because these guys made a bad decision. Peter led the decision by saying, I'm going fishing, and the other ones were followers and not leaders, and it's all right. If you're not a leader, don't try to be one. Just follow. These guys went with him, but watch this. Jesus met all of them at the same time. God, I love the way you set it up. He met all of them, even though they weren't where they was. They wasn't doing what they was supposed to be doing, so don't let nobody manipulate you and tell me, oh, that's why you're going to do stuff, because you ain't doing what God told you. Well, God is good enough, and God is knowledgeable enough, and God is big enough to meet me in the middle. As a matter of fact, ain't that where he met you? In the middle of your jump? And you wasn't where you, oh God, let me be real. You wasn't where you were supposed to be either. You wasn't where you were supposed to be either. You wasn't doing what you were supposed to do either. And he showed up for you. So what makes you think he won't show up for me? Y'all better help me. I feel like preaching now. I want to talk to some religious people that's always talking down to the real people that's trying to find God. And although you made a mistake, they'll lock you up and keep you in jail time. God ain't going to never move in your life, baby, because you ain't. No, I won't listen to me. Wherever I am, if he wants to find me, woo, God, he knows how to find me. And he knows exactly where to find me. And I might be off somewhere fishing, minding my own business. But once he makes up his mind that I'm his and he's mine, he will find the right time.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Thank you.
I got a couple more points I'm going to let y'all know. So, they go fishing all night and ain't catch nah fish. I didn't say no fish, I said nah. Nara a fish. Nary a fish. They caught nothing. Because when you do stuff in your own power, without God,
You better watch it.
it's going to come up empty every time. But thank God, he's always waiting to come to the rescue.
Now.
And so Jesus let them fish all night. They ain't caught nothing. And at some point, God's timing, they notice this man standing on the shore. They don't know it's him. But Jesus has shown up in the middle of their bad decision, in the middle of their current reality, and in the middle of them being out of position. He shows up to save the day. And they don't even know him. I wonder if God is already present in your life, working on the stuff in your life, and you don't even recognize it. That's another sermon. He says to them, children, do you have any food? And I'm asking them, you've been doing this all night.
Yeah, did you catch him?
Has it produced anything? You've been complaining all day. You've been acting ugly all month. What has it produced in your life that will help your dilemma change? You've been cussing for. Has it gotten any better for you? How's that working out for you? You stopped going to church a long time ago. Has it changed anything about your life? You know why? Because through your own little narrow-minded logic, you thought that would work. You thought that would give you peace. You thought that would fulfill your need. But there's an end that you have that only I can. And in my timing, I'm going to come and ask you a question. The question is, will you be honest with yourself? Has your life produced anything different or better without me? And the answer is no. Okay. 10 of y'all think so too, still think that you can do it on your own, right? He said, do you have any food? They said, no. We've been wasting our time. God brought me all the way in this building telling you, some of you, you're wasting your time trying to do stuff and accomplish things without him.
That's right.
So now is your opportunity to let him come in and change everything.
And everything.
When you couldn't change nothing.
Amen. Amen.
He still wants you. He still wants to produce something good out of your life. And he's still standing on the shore saying, are you tired of doing nothing? Are you tired of doing everything and not getting anything? He's still standing there. The question is, do you recognize him? You've been saying, God ain't answering my prayer, God ain't doing this, God ain't doing that, I'm done, I'm frustrated. The problem with that is, he was already there and you didn't recognize him. It ain't that he wasn't doing it, it's that he was there and you didn't even know he was there. He cannot do anything until you recognize he is. Look at somebody and say, he will show up, he will show up. The question is, will you recognize, now watch this, they didn't recognize him, they answered the question, and he said, cast your nets on the right side. Now, I'm getting ready to close now. He said, cast it on the right side, and you will catch fish. Listen to me. John recognizes, John, the beloved disciple, the one who had the closest relationship with him, recognizes that's the Lord. Why? Because I know that word. I know that instruction. I know how he talks to us when we get in the middle of lack. I know the revelation and that he will speak over the situation. I remember last time when we was in this situation and he said, cast on the right side, and we casted him and got so many fish we broke our nets. The rest of the guys still don't know that it's Jesus, but one person knows that that's Jesus and says to Peter, that's the Lord. Peter gets so excited that he jumps out the boat almost naked because he don't want to wait till I get to the shore. I want to swim to him because I miss him, because I want him, because I need him. And there's some people in church that's so hungry for the Lord, they'll do anything. I need more of you, more of you. If you come on a Monday, I want to be there. If you come at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, I want to be there because what I need is not your stuff. I need your presence. Is there anybody in here that can't wait for the Lord to show himself? Show up, Lord. Show up. I need you to show up. I'm not asking for money or stuff or gifts. I want you to show up. Because when you show up, the void that's in my life, I'll have everything I need. The Bible says they took the fish. Now watch this. Not only did Jesus show up, but when he showed up, he provided. Two ways, and I'm done. He provided fish that they couldn't catch all night. Now they can go sell those and make a profit. Some of y'all missed that one. Because you've been trying to get your business off the ground all these years by yourself.
Right.
You never asked God for his help. You never asked God for his direction. You never asked God, should you be doing this? You've been fishing all night and ain't caught nothing. You ain't got $1 spent on your business yet. But if you let him come in, now they have fish. Not only to eat, but to sell. And mostly to sell. Watch this, because when they get to the shore, he already has breakfast waiting. He says, come and dine. When God shows up in your life and you recognize him for who he is, he will manifest miracles. You'll have more than enough. You'll have more than what you need to eat for the day. You'll have more to sell. You'll have some for the future. And then he will meet the immediate need, because when you come meet him on the shore, he will already have a table prepared for you in the presence of your... I wish I could talk to somebody in here. He's not just going to meet the immediate need. No. And God sent me in this building to tell somebody who's hopeless and struggling with your reality that God is about to show up in your life and give you an abundant miracle and an immediate needer. He will be. KT, you better help me. He's going to be an immediate need. You up against, I don't care what your reality says. You can be broke all day long, but you can have more than what you need, and your bank account might still say zero, but you got a hero in your life that's going to make everything. I'm talking to somebody in this house. Third time that he showed himself to his disciples. He said, every time I need him,
He shows up. He shows up.
Every time he senses that I'm going to need, he's going to be there. And not only is he going to show up, he's going to be waiting for me. Side of all of your deliverance, on the flip side of all of your realities, on the flip side of all of your needs, it's done. And what he's going to do is manifest. When you decide help me preach. I'm talking to somebody in here that's feeling like the disciples. You're in a place mentally, emotionally, maybe even spiritually. You come back to what God called you out of. And it may be hopelessness, it may be doubt, it may be fear. It may be your lack of commitment, dedication. First one at church. Helping do everything. You had on 6, 7 hats you were wearing. But now, where are you? You're doing it on your own. God never meant for you to spend that energy working in your own strength. consistent, constant, ongoing partnership. Me and God. Me and God. And as long as me and God are working together, I'm not dominated by my reality. Because my faith says every reality produces a miracle. Because it's me and God. Don't miss this small thing in the text. When they met Jesus on the shore and finally recognized who he was, the Bible says something very interesting. He already had fish and bread on fire prepared. But he said, now you bring the fish that I gave you through the miracle. Why did he say that? Because he wanted them to recognize, I produced a miracle in your life. But when you bring what I've given you, and I give more of what I've given you, and that comes together, you'll never have lack in your life. What he's trying to teach them is, you can't do this on your own by yourself without God.
Amen.
But when me and God put our, when we meet together, when we come together, when I let him do what he does and I do what I do, and I can only do it by his ability and his power and what he provides, I will not only never have lack in my life, but I'll have enough to bless everybody else around me. Where are you, child of God? Are you out on the ocean fishing by yourself all night with a group of people that are not producing anything? God wanted you to hear today this word that said, come back to faith. Come back to trusting me. Take this word that I've given you and act on it, and it will manifest miracles in your life that will outshine your reality. Everybody's got reality. But everyone who walks with God has potential of miracles.
Amen.
The potential of miracles. If we trust him and do what he says.
Yes.
Cast your nets on the right side. Well, Lord, we've been out here all night. They said that one time. We've been out here all night. But this time they just did it because they have history with him. They know that if he said cast on the right side, so we've been fishing on the wrong side in our own strength. But now I got a word for my situation. And I'm going to take this word and I'm going to do it. Pastor, I hear you. I'm going to do it. I'll be at Bible study Wednesday night. I'll be at prayer. And guess what? It's going to be me and God. I don't care who else goes fishing. I got to get out this boat and get back to Jesus. If I got to swim, if I got to crawl, if I got to get back to him. Because when I get back to him, he's going to have everything that I need. I'll say this. Did you know there's some things that you don't have to work for that God will give you?
Amen.
You just have to obey him.
Amen.
Some provision comes by obedience, not work.
Amen.
God wants you to know if you just do what I say, some of you don't have to experience the dilemmas that you do. You just do what he says when he says do it. And it will manifest the miracle that you've been praying for and trying to do you've been doing this for years. You've been trying to, if I could just do this, if I could just do. And God says, no. I said, cast on the right side. And you will pull in more than what you can handle. Overflow. Every head bowed and every eye closed. For some in this room, it's not more stuff, it's more Jesus you need. Peter said, I can't wait. I got to jump off the boat. Even if I don't walk on the water this time, I know how to swim. And whatever it takes, I'm getting back to Jesus. I shouldn't have came fishing in the first place, but now that he's here, I'm going to get back to him because that's what I've been missing in my life is his. And for some of you in here, you're so busy trying to fool church people, but you've been missing the presence of God's move in your life. And everything starts with relationship. So as I stand before you with your head bowed and your eye closed, I'm calling for someone who is not sure that your relationship with the Master is secure. If you have any doubt in your mind that you are in good standing, you can know that today. He says, these things have I written unto you that have eternal life. But that if you believe in him, you can know that you can believe on his word. You know you have eternal life. You can know that. You don't have to guess. That if you've given your life to him, he's got you in the palm of his hand. And he said, and no man can pluck you out of my hand. You don't have to wonder if you're going to heaven or not. But you better know that you have a relationship with him, that I'm his and he's mine. And if you're in this house today and you're not sure that you have that right relationship with God through Jesus Christ, while every head is bowed and every eye is closed, I want you to get up out of your seat right now. We've been praying for you. We've been hoping, we've been asking God to lead you here and back to himself. So if you're in this house today and you're not sure, if you don't know that if you died right now, you would enter into the presence of God, you would be in heaven with him. If you don't know that, then maybe you should